Hello there, this is Homunculoid Reviews, and today we are looking at the Mcfarlane Toys 5-inch Avatar The Last Airbender, Avatar State Aang, and Zuko in Blue Spirit disguise. First off, with the packaging, we can see that there's some cool misty mountains and they're slightly posed up in the packaging. On the back, we get a bio for both Aang and Zuko during this episode, and we get some nice pictures of them. Top, it's just a window. Bottom, here is the barcode, and that's really all there is to it. Now, let's open it up. And first off, we're going to have a look at Aang, because we have seen him in this line before. He's pretty much all the same as we've seen before, just with a new head. I haven't seen the Wave 2 Aang in the Avatar state, so I think it's a different head, but I could be wrong. But with that being said, I think it is a pretty nice head. You can see some pent-up anger in there. The eyes and the arrows are all painted white, no little blue around them to make it look like it's glowing, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. And of course, something that is a problem with Aang figures is how they tackle his little shawl, or this little piece that goes over his shoulders. Mcfarlane has decided to go at it by just sculpting it into his arms, giving him the range to be able to move around, which I don't know if it's the right call, but there's nothing you can really do about that instead of giving him cloth goods. The articulation's pretty good with this guy. He is a $10 figures, and these ones are a little bit more limited articulations than your 7-inch ones, but he's able to get some good range. You can see his legs. He can go up into a really nice splits. Get some bend at the knee, not quite 90. Elbow's not quite 90, but he does have a swivel here. And his shoulders go about that far up, go all the way around, and his head swivels. It's a fair amount of up, not any down at all, and some very slight tilt. If there was any negative about these 5-inch figures, I'd say it's the lack of ankle articulation. It really makes these guys hard to stand up. Aang being really difficult to stand up, I feel. Other figures are easier to stand up. Sokka comes to mind. He's really easy, just plop him down. He's got nice big feet. He's got big boots, but this guy, he's just having a lot of trouble standing. He always seems to be going back, no matter how far I lean him forward. He also comes with his staff. It's all the same plastic. It's brown. It's kind of flexible. It came out bent in the package, but it's pretty fine. It's kind of difficult to get in his hands. His hands aren't the softest plastic in the world, so you really have to pry, get him in, and he's not going to drop it at all. He looks pretty cool with it on, holding it. You can probably use this to help him stand up, get some more weight going forward, or prop him up. Yeah, a lot of nice detail in this guy. Mcfarlane always does an awesome job with the textures, especially since this is a cartoon character. A lot of this texture is, not from the show. We see flat colors in the show, and here we're seeing anywhere you can think of there being texture, there is on his clothes. His boots have this cool texture. The orange bit here. The staff doesn't seem to have any texture at all. It has these little studs in here. They aren't painted. That shouldn't be too hard to go in with like a little dab of silver paint though. So yeah, let's move on to the Blue Spirit. And here we have what is definitely the main draw of this 2-pack, Zuko in his Blue Spirit disguise. This guy is pretty sweet. I'm glad to be able to add him to the shelf. He didn't come with the sheaths on it in the package. I found it was easiest to pop his head off. Came off really easy and just slide it over his shoulder, over the ball joint. And yeah, this guy turned out pretty cool. His face, I'm not seeing really any missing details with the paint. Back we can see he's got the mask tied on right here. Obviously got his swords in the hand. They slide into the sheath really easily. They are kind of like half circle shaped hilts, so they kind of attach together, slide down. One thing that I don't like is how his sheath is not connected. Mcfarlane's done this quite a few other times with his DC Multiverse, and definitely not a fan of those. I'd rather it be like a hollow shell that you can slide in, because if you were to slide the swords in the sheath, you could see the silver poking out here. And speaking of the silver, I think it looks really nice. It's kind of got like a speckled look. It's got some grainy texture, which really helps with the illusion of metal. Oh, sword fell out. And yeah, this guy looks really awesome. One weird thing about him is that he's got a lot less texture than a lot of the other Mcfarlane figures. His legs are like completely smooth. His torso has like a really slight texture. His mask is smooth. Sheath has a bit of texture too. But yeah, he's a lot smoother than a lot of other figures in this line, which is kind of strange, because it is kind of Mcfarlane's thing. Lots of cool texture, but I don't really think it's that much of a big deal. He looks really awesome. He's kind of like this ninja guy, probably doesn't need a lot of texture. Kind of draws into him, kind of hide in the shadows, I guess, if you want to rationalize it this way. Articulation is pretty good on this guy, pretty similar to Aang. Got his arm stuck here. This wasn't happening. Oh wow, this wasn't happening earlier with him. I don't know if it's just the detents. Yeah, I think it's just the detents are pretty tight on this guy. Probably the more I mess with him, the looser those will get. Yeah, pretty similar articulation to the Aang. Gets a really nice split. Then at the knee, gets a little bit below 90 degrees. Elbow, maybe a tiny bit past 90 or 90 degrees right on the dot. Head has no up, tiny smidge down, and some tilt. A lot more tilt than a lot of other figures in this line have, which is nice. There's a lot of personality to a static masked face. Well, with that being said, let's move into some comparisons. This is the Mcfarlane Toys Book 1 Zuko. Looking at it, the Blue Spirit Zuko does look maybe just a tiny bit shorter, but I think it works considering he is in like a less bulky outfit, kind of more skin tight apart from the legs. So I think it works. Now, something I don't think that really works is how tall Aang is. I feel like this Aang is way too tall. His head looks huge compared to, well, the Blue Spirit at least. It's a cartoon character, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think he's way too tall. He looks maybe just a tiny bit shorter than the Blue Spirit. The Aang that I like to use is the Loyal Subjects Best Action Aang, who I feel like is at scales way better with this line. You see, he's like, yeah, way shorter than this Aang, which definitely works. This Aang is, I think he's about the same size as Katara. I don't know if he's taller. I don't have her on hand right now, but yeah, in the show, Aang was definitely shorter than Katara. I'm usually not too much of a stickler for scale, but Aang is like the second shortest person in the show, next to like Toph. So yeah, this guy definitely too big, but that's not really gonna bother everyone. So if it doesn't bother you, this is something fun to pick up. Definitely, this is a better figure. It's about, I think I've seen it on like Amazon or other websites for like as low as $12, which is $2 more than a single carded 5-inch figure. So I think if you're wanting to get an Aang to go with this 5-inch line, I would definitely skip the Mcfarlane Aang and go for the Best Action Aang. Also, the back of the package, the back of the inside, definitely make for a nice backdrop for your figures. Really cool misty mountains with a nice river going down. I think this is from the title sequence when Aang is standing with his back turned. Well, anyway, that about does it for the first ever Homunculoid review. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next review.